Hey again, it's Charlie. I wanted to talk about the boundary between self and other, particularly in regards to the body. And the question for tonight is, does who you are end at your body? There's three examples that I want to talk about that break that. One I'm sitting next to, which is a piano. Like, I'm not actually I was a singer, but I'm not a pianist, and my identity is not wrapped up in pianos. But there are people whose identity is wrapped up in their musicianship. So if I were to just hypothetically just design a world in which all pianos were taken away from all pianists and they could never touch a piano again, they could never touch an instrument again, it would seem that I was doing something that was radically attacking someone's personhood in a way, or their I'm not attacking their body specifically, but it seems like I am in part attacking part of who they are. And that distinction is part of what I want to unpack. The second example is actually the material composition of your body. The question is, do you end when your body ends? I think the answer to that is no. And in part, we talked about this in the ship of Theseus argument. Like, the material constituents of who you are do change as time goes on. Like, the cells are always being remade, the skin is coming off, and hair is growing and disappearing. Every few years, you're a completely different physical person. So the matter that was once your body is now no longer in your body, and yet you are still you. So it seems like the second point is that even if who you are ends at your body, that boundary gets called into question by the fact that you're constantly exchanging matter with the rest of the world, and you're exchanging hormones and pheromones with the people around you. Okay, the third argument is, I think, the most compelling, which is, does who you are end at your body? I think no, and part of that is relational, in that, and there are other philosophers who've spoken about this in more detail, but I think to see it, just go to the example of a breakup, a divorce, or the death of someone who you've been married to for a really long time, or even just a really good friend, frankly. When a tragedy happens and someone dies, people often use the language of I feel like I've lost part of myself. That's true metaphorically, but I actually kind of think it's literally true, because there are neural pathways in your brain that are now gonna decay because they're never gonna be revived by the person who always revived them. You have memories that are contextualized by people, and you have emotions and complicated feelings that only come about because you're interacting with a particular person. And when that particular person is no longer in your life, literally your body is now changing. So if the question is, does who I am end at my body, I think that the answer is yes or no. No, it definitely does not. Who I am definitely does not change. It definitely does not end at my own body. So recapping three examples. Your instrument, if you're a piano player, or if you're a computer scientist and you need your computers to be part of who you are. Second, the material constituents of your body are actually changing all the time anyway. And then third, part of your identity is wrapped up in your relationality to the rest of the world. So the reason that I'm bringing this argument up is because I can imagine a future, and we've talked about this in the Should We All Become Robots video, or Should We Let Our, whatever it was called. I'll link it. Those people will feel like the technology that has become part of their identity is part of who they are, and they won't be wrong. And the reason that I'm making this video is because if we logically extend that, it leads to a very interesting implication, which is, suppose you're one of these people who has a technological extension of themselves. We're in a networked age, and so if you have a technological extension of yourself that you control via the internet, then part of who you are is now no longer in one location. You are a non-local being. You're being with multiple locations. I already am that, because part of who I am is wrapped up in my relationships and the technology that I interact with. But in the case of the people who have a cybernetic enhancement that is networked to the internet, they literally have a body that extends beyond them. Anyway, I just think that's cool, and I thought it was worth talking about. Thanks so much for watching. Fourth video, so if you're interested in any of the content that's happening, make sure to like below and hit subscribe. If you did, there's also another channel that's going to have some more refined videos. That video, the next one's coming up, is going to be about style and what it means to copy someone else's style. So check that one out. Anyways, thanks guys. Have a great night. Bye.